YouTube Ronin Kaze series wanted to start talking during the middle of the video. Fallout 76 TV shows going on. I'm pandering to the Fallout crowd. I'm in Grafton. And it's Grafton Day, and they have a celebration where they let a monster out, but I don't know that. So I have to decide, is it worth it to spend my time and resources trying to kill this monster? Can I even kill the monster? And we've talked about switching to Linux, but is it worth it? Is it worth your time to, hey, if you could like, share, subscribe, resubscribe, let people know. Maybe buy me a cup of coffee. I'd appreciate it. Is it worth your time doing this? Is it worth my time getting the Grafton beast out here? There it is. One of the things about playing role-playing games is there's a XP per hour calculation going on in your head. That same calculation, time, cost, benefit for switching to Linux, is the same thing from Windows 10. I tried to get the graph that I had from Statistica, I think is the website, where it shows the global operating system usage from 1981 to 2025, 2024. And basically Linux is at 3%. Linux is down at the bottom. And Android's number 1, and Windows 10 and 11 and all the Windows versions are number 2, and maybe iOS is number 2, and then it's Windows and Mac, and eventually get to Linux near the bottom. But that doesn't tell the whole story. Should I invest time in something that at first point is a little bit hard? Well, that's what you got to do, a cost analysis, do the benefits outweigh the cost. If you're on Windows 10, my argument to you would be, you either got to learn Windows 11 or you got to learn Linux. And a lot of people in the Linux community will make a big difference on, what the GUI is and all that stuff. That was decided when we got off DOS. Alt file save is alt file save pretty much everywhere when you're doing a window. Those things are kind of like part of the meme, to use current language. So I'm looking for the monster here. I don't want to get smoked. And for some reason, the super mutants are fighting even the bigger mutant, and the robots are protecting the super mutant. By the way, spoiler alert about Grafton. Spoiler alert. It's like your second big quest. You go to the airport first, and then you're going to go to Grafton to help the mayor. Is it worthwhile for me to switch from, if you're in Windows 10, it's a no-brainer because you're not going to get support anymore for Windows. So you're going to leave yourself vulnerable, and that's like, there's no reason to do that. You've got to learn a new system anyways. You might as well use Linux. Whatever you pick is going to be fine. What distro you pick, I use a distro called CachyOS because I'm playing games. If you're on this channel, there's probably some sense that you play games also. Now, the Linux people might be coming here for purely Linux. I've done a couple videos where I showed Linux Mint is the same as CachyOS, which is the same as PopOS. Essentially, they're all the same. Really how you get what your app store looks like. How frequently your system is updated. Because Linux security is a little bit different, it doesn't have the same vulnerabilities as Windows. So in Windows, when you give, permissions, administrator rights, that program just can run roughshod through your system. In Linux, when you're installing something, you have to put in your password. It's very granular on on the amount of freedom it lets a user have. Okay, so I'm trying to sneak around here, and I don't really have any good place. I'm always kind of scouting out, if I have to retreat, what am I going to do? And before I can get in my spot, I get under fire, and it's, let's see what your boy does. And I'm like, I can take those two. Oh gosh, and they're coming around the corner. I'm literally in the wrong place. So I try to take cover. Now I'm trying to get some health. And I don't know how to use the wheel to make it go faster. And I got smoked. So I respawn. So right now, my XP per hour has gone down. So, like any stubborn person, I'm going to throw good money after bad. Is it worth? I'm going to kill that thing now. Hook or crook. Hook or crook, YouTube. And so that's kind of what I did when I switched to Linux. The reason I switched is I was having problems with my Windows 11 installation on my main PC. It ended up being a physical problem. And I had switched to Linux. And back in the day, Ubuntu was always pretty easy to install and kind of fix things on my computer. So I always had like a dongle of that sitting around. But playing games, I wanted whatever the quote unquote the best Linux system for playing games. So one of the things about Linux is it has different distributions. And inside the different distributions, they have different window managers or desktops. So essentially what you're going to be living with every day is how the Windows works and how your desktop works. And one of the great thing about Linux, when you're looking for different distros, the wallpapers are fantastic. But the wallpapers aren't the window manager, just wallpaper. You can get the sweet wallpapers for any distro. I like KDE because I was using a Mac. On the Mac, the window controls are on the left side, not the right side like in Windows. So in KDE, I could change that. It was very easy, but I think all of these are very easy to get them to do what you want. I will say this, not every window manager gives you the same amount of freedom as other ones. But they all generally let you make things bigger, smaller, and colors and those kind of things, change the wallpaper. Because that's the paradigm for windowing systems. So now I got to go back and get, oh gosh, YouTube, oh gosh. Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. Wow, that thing's big, YouTube. So I had visited this school previously. And being the loot loving person, I'm always going to see if I can do loot, but I can see there's a caution thing and I'm just checking everything around. So your choice of distribution is not as important if you do a couple prerequisites. And the main one I think is, well, number one, back up all your files, number one. And your real files, the real files that you create, the documents, the receipts, and those kind of things are so small they'll fit on a relatively small thumb drive. Like you can get a 32 gigabyte or a 256 megabyte or gigabyte. You can get pretty big thumb drives that you can back up all your data. We're talking about data, that's your spreadsheets, your resumes, your receipts, your letters, those kind of things. You're going to back up onto that thumb drive. Then number two, you're going to figure out what window manager you want. That's KDE, Genome, Cinnamon. You'll look them up. It's very easy. There's a lot of videos. I was going to try to do a video on that, but it's technically, it's a bigger challenge for me to do. I was going to install Cachy and then in a virtual machine and then put a whole bunch of them on there and blah, blah, blah. So I'm not doing that. So is it worth the time? So I'm going in there. I'm getting rid of my inventory. Is it worth your time to switch from Windows to Linux? Yes. And when you're in Windows 10, it's not even an issue. You have to do it. If you're on Windows 10, said I'm just going to get Windows 11, I would argue you're going to have to learn something new. You might as well use Linux. When you're on Windows, like I showed you previously, using Office 365, they're just shoving AI on you, which they're, when you use OneDrive, when you use Google Drive, all these other things. It's okay if you don't mind them reading your stuff, it's okay. But you're getting the experience that Microsoft wants you to have, not the one you want to have. You can always use AI. If you have a phone, you can use, I use Gemini to answer a lot of questions. And really, I use Gemini like I would just searching. So really all I'm doing is talking into the search, and then it reads it back to me. And a lot of times when I've asked AI very specific questions, it doesn't get the answer right. And I said, why didn't you just tell me that in the first place? I was asking AI how big the universe is. And it said it's 13.7 million light years or whatever it is, billion light years, whatever it is. And then I said, well, can't we only, that's how far we can see back, but couldn't it be, well, actually it might be 46 billion light years wide, but because, and then I said, why didn't you just tell me at the beginning? Well, I'm trained to give you just an easy answer. Now I'm fighting, he throws stuff at you. Now I'm fighting the beast up there. So I'm kind of, this technique is called strafing, when you move back and forth and get in shelter and shoot, and I'm going to wear him down. And I asked it, I'm trained, the AI said, I'm trained to give you a general answer and then make you ask more questions so I can get more specific. I don't want to give you a very specific answer immediately. The other second thing that Gemini does a lot, it'll be giving me an answer and they'll stop in the middle and go, wait, let me redo that. And they'll say the same thing. I don't know if there's minor differences. There he is over there. I'm killing him with my pistol. Really, that's like a rifle that's sawed down into a pistol size. So is it worthwhile for me to do it? If I'm Windows 10, yes. Whether I'm going to go to Windows 11 or if I'm going to switch, yeah, I need to do it. The same complaint someone would have about Linux is the same exact complaints you'd have about Mac. And again, I would say the Mac ecosystem, while the software is great and it's inexpensive, I don't like the interface because in Windows, when you have a smaller window, the file, edit, all those things are right there. In Mac, they're up at the top. I don't know if you can change that, but it's dumb to have it like that by default. And the hardware is ridiculously expensive. It's good, but you're paying for it. If you want to just get on the internet, we also need to know your use cases. But it's worthwhile for you to change. Now, if only you could try before you buy, the old saying. In Linux, you can. You're going to get a USB, you're going to make a live distro, then you're going to boot off the live distro, then you can play with it and say, well, this is pretty easy. Yes, it's super easy. Everything you'd have to learn on Linux, you're going to have to learn on Windows 11. They're just going to be different things that you have to learn. He's almost down, YouTube. Oh, he's still throwing stuff. And there, down goes Foreman. Down goes Frazier, I think it is. So, and there it is. I've completed the event. So, should you be doing this? Yes. I slayed the dragon. I got rid of Windows. You can get rid of Windows. It's 2026. You can do it. I keep checking the time so I don't go over. This is Ronin Kaze telling you can slay the beast. You can slay Windows 10 and go to Linux. Thanks, YouTube. Talk to you soon. Bye.